War is often thought of as a contest of men and machines, a battlefield dominated by swords, cannons, and cunning strategies. But what if I told you that some of history's most unexpected victories were delivered not by human ingenuity alone, but with the help of animals? Yes, creatures you'd never imagine. Elephants crashing through enemy lines, dogs delivering explosive payloads, even bees wreaking havoc on entire armies. It's a side of history that few ever consider, yet it holds lessons in innovation, resilience, and the unbreakable bond between humans and animals. Think about it. Why did ancient commanders trust war elephants to turn the tide of battle? How could a swarm of insects disorient a seasoned army? These aren't just tales from dusty history books. They're stories of survival and ingenuity, where living, breathing creatures became pivotal tools of war. And these stories aren't just fascinating. They challenge what we think we know about strategy, teamwork, and resourcefulness. By the end of this journey, you'll see how the smallest bee or the largest elephant could change the course of history. So buckle up as we delve into the untold world of military animals and their astonishing contributions to ancient warfare. You might never look at the animal kingdom or battlefield strategy the same way again. Ready to uncover these hidden stories? Let's dive in. Imagine standing on a battlefield only to see colossal creatures, armored and towering, charging at you with unrelenting force. That's precisely what ancient armies experienced when war elephants entered the fray. These massive animals weren't just beasts. They were living tanks, smashing through enemy lines and breaking formations like dry twigs. Alexander the Great, during his conquests in India, faced these mighty creatures and quickly learned that their presence was more psychological than physical. The mere sight of war elephants could make even seasoned soldiers quiver, a testament to their fearsome reputation. But these giants weren't just for show. They were often equipped with small fortresses, literally towers, on their backs, carrying archers or spearmen who rained down attacks from above. In a battle, this combination of brute strength and elevated offense was unparalleled. Take Hannibal, for instance, who famously crossed the Alps with his war elephants to surprise Roman forces. Although challenging to manage in cold climates, their impact on the battlefield was undeniable. They would trample infantry, overturn cavalry horses, and create utter chaos. This kind of destruction wasn't just physical. It shook the morale of even the most steadfast armies. Interestingly, war elephants weren't always victorious. Opposing forces developed tactics to counter them, such as using fire or creating fake trenches to spook and trap the animals. Still, their presence reshaped ancient warfare. They introduced the concept of using biological strength strategically, an idea that echoes through history. And speaking of strategies, you'll see how animals of varying sizes and purposes became essential allies in combat as we explore the next ingenious choice. Cavalry horses. Cavalry horses were the heartbeat of ancient warfare, their galloping hooves resonating like thunder across countless battlefields. Imagine the sheer power and elegance of an armored knight atop a swift, trained steed charging headlong into enemy lines. These horses weren't ordinary farm animals. They were bred for war, strong, agile, and enduring. Whether pulling chariots in Egypt or carrying Mongol archers across the steppes, cavalry horses brought unmatched mobility and speed, often deciding the fate of battles before they even began. These remarkable animals served a variety of purposes beyond the direct assault. For example, during the Napoleonic Wars, horses hauled artillery across muddy terrains where human effort alone would fail. On the battlefield, cavalry units acted as shock troops, delivering decisive blows to disoriented infantry. But their role wasn't limited to brute force. Horses also helped armies scout enemy positions and communicate over long distances, making them indispensable in crafting battlefield strategies. From knights of medieval Europe to samurai in Japan, every culture revered the partnership between soldier and steed. However, cavalry horses faced their own challenges. Enemies devised clever tactics to neutralize their advantages, like using camels in combat to terrify the horses with their unfamiliar scent. Despite such countermeasures, these loyal companions adapted, evolving alongside their riders. Their legacy is woven into the history of ancient warfare, standing as a testament to how humans and animals united in the art of war. Speaking of loyalty and ingenuity, let's turn to another fascinating ally on the battlefield: war dogs. Loyal, fierce, and incredibly adaptable, war dogs were more than man's best friend. They were warriors' most trusted allies. Picture ancient Roman legions marching into battle, flanked by mastiff-like dogs trained to attack on command, or medieval knights using armored dogs to guard their camps. These animals weren't just for show. They were carefully selected and trained to carry out specific roles, from sniffing out intruders to launching direct attacks on enemy soldiers. The bond between handler and dog often mirrored the loyalty seen between comrades on the battlefield. One of the most striking examples of war dogs' utility was their role in psychological warfare. Imagine facing a pack of snarling, aggressive dogs rushing toward you, an intimidating sight that could disorganize even the most disciplined troops. During World War II, dogs were trained to deliver explosives to enemy tanks, a tactic that combined their natural agility with human ingenuity. In earlier conflicts, they served as scouts or messengers, navigating difficult terrain and carrying vital information across enemy lines when human couriers couldn't. But war dogs weren't just tools, they were companions, often forming emotional connections with their handlers. Stories abound of soldiers who risked their lives to save their canine partners, highlighting the depth of this partnership. From ancient battlefields to modern warfare, dogs proved that their loyalty wasn't just a virtue, but a battlefield strategy. And as we delve into the next chapter, we'll explore another animal whose unique traits turn the tide of war: camels. At first glance, camels might not seem like natural warriors, but these desert-dwelling animals were critical assets in many ancient and medieval conflicts. Their unique ability to traverse harsh, arid environments made them indispensable for armies operating in the Middle East, North Africa, and beyond. Picture a line of camels carrying supplies and soldiers across the scorching sands, their resilience enabling campaigns in places where cavalry horses would falter. But their role didn't stop at transportation. They were often used tactically on the battlefield to gain an edge over enemy forces. One fascinating advantage of camels in combat was their ability to disrupt enemy cavalry. Horses, unaccustomed to the pungent scent of camels, often panicked when they came too close, breaking ranks and leaving their riders vulnerable. This tactic was employed by Arabian and Islamic armies, whose commanders understood the psychological and strategic impact of deploying camels against horse-mounted troops. In some cases, camels were even armored and outfitted with archers or spearmen, turning them into moving fortresses of desert warfare. Beyond the battlefield, camels played a vital role in sustaining armies. Their ability to carry heavy loads over long distances ensured the steady supply of food, water, and weapons, essential for prolonged campaigns. They were, quite literally, the lifeline of desert armies. Their versatility and endurance exemplify how even the most unassuming animals can become powerful tools of war. And speaking of unconventional yet effective weapons, let's move on to an example that's as ingenious as it is unsettling: the use of bees as biological weapons. When you think of battlefield chaos, swarming bees probably aren't the first thing to come to mind, yet they were ingeniously used in ancient warfare to cause panic and disarray. Imagine soldiers, clad in armor and wielding swords, suddenly besieged by a furious hive of stinging insects. It's a scene straight out of a nightmare, and precisely the kind of tactical brilliance that ancient armies, such as the Romans, employed. They would catapult hives into enemy camps or fortifications, turning these tiny creatures into biological weapons of remarkable effectiveness. The genius of using bees lay in their ability to disrupt enemy formations and morale without the need for direct combat. In the heat of a battle or siege, confusion could be as deadly as a sword, and nothing sowed confusion quite like a swarm of angry bees. Defenders of fortified cities often kept hives on their walls, ready to unleash them on besieging troops. These insects didn't just sting, they spread chaos, causing soldiers to abandon their posts or flee in terror. It was warfare at its most primal and unexpected. But the use of bees wasn't purely destructive. it was also strategic. Their presence bought time for defenders to regroup or forced attackers to change tactics, wasting precious resources and energy. This clever use of nature's smallest warriors highlights the creativity of ancient battlefield strategies. From elephants to bees, the ingenuity of using animals in warfare speaks volumes about the adaptability of human tactics. Now that we've explored these incredible stories, let's tie everything together to reveal the larger picture of how animals reshaped the art of war. History has shown us that ingenuity often lies in the unexpected. From the towering presence of war elephants to the unsettling chaos of bees as weapons, animals have played astonishing roles in shaping the outcomes of battles. But these aren't just stories of the past, they're lessons in creativity and resourcefulness, showing us how thinking beyond the obvious can lead to extraordinary results. The question is, how can you harness this same out-of-the-box thinking in your life? What untapped resources are waiting to help you turn the tide in your own battles? Take a moment to reflect. Are you overlooking potential allies in your journey, much like how ancient generals leveraged the animal kingdom? Could it be a skill, a connection, or even a fresh perspective that transforms your strategy? The tools for success are often closer than we think, waiting for us to recognize their value. And just like the commanders of old, your ability to adapt and innovate can become your greatest strength. If you found these stories as fascinating as I did, don't let the learning stop here. Hit the subscribe button and activate notifications to continue uncovering the secrets of history, strategy, and beyond. Remember, knowledge isn't just power, it's the weapon that wins wars, both on and off the battlefield. Are you ready to arm yourself for the future? Let's keep exploring together.